emergency declared. Then I came to know the war had started and the emergency has been claimed in the country. So then I came to realize that, oh, now we have stuck over here and the war has started. There should be no war. Any life which goes, whether it is an Iranian body or it is an Israeli body, we should not go for any war.
The escalating conflict between Iran and Israel has pushed the Middle East into a dangerous and unpredictable phase, raising serious concern about regional stability, sovereignty, peace, security, and global energy supply crisis. The tension started on 28 February 2026 when the United States and Israel carried out joint airstrike on Iran, which assassinated Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, along with several top political and military leaderships, including senior IRGC commander and defense minister.
Fire and destruction across the Middle East this Saturday night after the U.S. and Israel unleashed a massive joint strike on Iran.
Over the past 36 hours, the United States and its partners have launched Operation Epic Fury, one of the largest, most complex, most overwhelming military offensives the world has ever seen. Nobody's seen anything like it. We have hit hundreds of targets in Iran, including Revolutionary Guard facilities, Iranian air defense systems. Just now it was announced that we knocked out 9 ships plus their naval building, all in a matter of literally minutes. Iran's formerly supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, is dead.
As of now, more than 1,400 people have been killed, with more than 18,000 injured. According to the Iranian Health Ministry, the vast majority of these casualties are civilian, including hundreds of women and children, with over 9,600 civilian sites struck. One of the most tragic incidents involved a missile strike on a girls' elementary school in Minab, southern Iran, which killed more than 165 girls students.
Tonight, a CNN analysis of that attack reveals evidence suggesting that the United States military was likely responsible for it.
In retaliation, Iran launched a wave of ballistic missiles and drones toward Israel, with repeated attacks targeting Tel Aviv and IDF military facilities. Iranian retaliation also extended to US military bases and diplomatic sites across the Gulf region. The conflict has shaken the entire Middle East, with tension affecting countries such as Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, UAE, Jordan, and Oman. Iran also closed the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most critical energy routes, through which nearly 20% of global oil supply passes. The disruptions has triggered concerns about an energy crisis, particularly for Asian countries like India and Pakistan. However, many journalists have claimed about the media restrictions and censorship during Iranian missile attacks on Israel, and raised serious concerns over press freedom and transparency. Amid this tense and uncertain environment, I had the opportunity to speak with senior journalist Braj Mohan Singh, who recently returned from Israel after reporting directly from affecting areas by Iranian airstrikes. He spoke about the restrictions of filming missile strikes locations, limited access to hospital, and challenges journalists face in verifying the true scale of damage and civilian casualties. I joined with him exclusively to know his first-hand experience of reporting from a war zone and to discuss what journalists can and cannot report from Israel.
Israel is a country which is highly equipped in a technology manner. But when it is a situation of war, there is a destruction towards both the countries actually. And definitely Iran, who lost its supreme leader. So this gives also a reason for Iran to be little slower in the war. By some missile or a drone, I visited just to cover it. I saw a very big hole basically. I could claim as if like this, maybe the disaster seems to be not so big as compared to Iran, because Iran's disaster can be seen by all the medias.
Thank you so much for joining us, sir. First of all, tell us when you went to Israel and in which area you are reporting during the conflict.
My name is Braj Mohan Singh. I am the editor of the Sadhana television network. I am a journalist from last 26 years, and from 13 years I am the editor and channel head of this group. I had gone for the visit to cover the of Prime Minister Mr. Modi for 2 days visit over there in Israel, and I reached Tel Aviv on 24th morning. And then from 24th morning I went in the evening to Jerusalem, where we had the media center at Dan Panorama Hotel. We had to report and we have to receive a card over there, for which we will get the entries in all the programs which was already been designed by the government and by the ministry, or the, you can say, the Israeli government over there. So on 24th I reached there, and then till 26th of February I was covering the 2 days functions over there. And then on 27th I came back from Jerusalem to Tel Aviv. And 28th morning I had a flight to Delhi at 11:40 a.m. But at 8 o'clock when I reached there at 8:15, 8:20, while I was standing on the Air India counter, suddenly there was a voice which said, evacuate, evacuate, evacuate. So we came to know what is, because as an Indian over here, as an Hindi speaking person, I couldn't get the meaning of evacuate actually. But then I came to realize after few time that means there has been a war which had started, and suddenly on my mobile I saw there was a warning of emergency declared, and then I came to know the war had started and the emergency has been claimed in the country. So then I came to realize that, oh, now we have stuck over here and the war has started.
So, what was the situation on the ground when Iranian missile strikes were taking place?
No, as compared to to Iran, I would say Israel is a country which is highly equipped in a technology manner. But when it is a situation of war, there is a destruction towards both the countries actually. One country is very highly equipped, of course, and definitely Iran, who lost its supreme leader. So this gives also a reason for Iran to be little slower in the war, because when you lose the main member of your family, or where you can say that if you lose a captain or basically the main person, or you can if you lose the main person who is guiding you for a fight, if he is only not alive, and especially if I came to know that there were 40 other people also who died, it makes the war easy definitely for the opponent, for Israel, because the war became very easy as the main leader only had died. Secondly, then Israel, in comparison to the technology, I think so, because I don't know Iran very much. I don't know even Israel very much, because this was my first visit. But what I heard and what I learned from the people, they said that it is a country which is very defensive for his people, for his nation, and they have a very qualified missiles which can diffuse the missiles which is coming from the Iran. But actually, I'm not a defense expert who can just say, Israel diffused all the missile. I could say that whenever there used to be a lightning, you can say a missile or a drone, I don't know even that also, because it was very far in the evening when I saw it. That was being exploded in the air only. So my people who were surrounded me, or my journalist or the other people there, they said this missile have been exploded because our country has the equipment and a technique which can diffuse any of the missiles coming from any part of the world in the air only. So this, I could say, this was the people which were saying. But Iran, what Iran's destruction, how much is there, I am not able to say you very honestly, because I have not been to Iran.
In a viral video, you claim that even 100 underground bunkers were hit in some area. What did you exactly notice over there?
No, first of all, I would like to tell you, because I have been, by the certain forums, I have been told to speak what you have the proof. So earlier, because when we speak anything, we need to have the proof. As a journalist, we should have. But while I was speaking in my last video, I was being called by the few proper, platforms. They asked me to give a proof properly what you say, and even the Israel embassy asked me. They were very they were very angry with me because they said you are spreading a very wrong myth about my country. So they said whatever you say, you have to have the proof. I don't have the proof that that the bunkers were not so properly and safe for the people. I would say, but when I had been there, I saw when there was a disaster by some missile or a drone. I visited just to cover it. I saw a very big hole basically to the place where where there was a disaster, when there was a blast or a disaster, what you say, because at the night it had happened. So by seeing that hole, I cannot say now properly, because I have been asked to give a proof what you say, so that it was a bunker but there was a hole that I saw myself. But I don't have the proof, but I saw that hole. Now this you can claim it as if that the bunkers were not so safe. This I really can't say in this video now.
So you have alleged that there was heavy censorship on journalists. What kind of media restrictions were imposed on media?
When I was being asked by the people, they said you said that there was a restrictions on the media. I was told later that Israeli media does not cover the way Indian media covers. I was thinking about myself, like there was a blast in Chandni Chowk few time ago. All our media reached to the place, and we were being updated every half an hour by the police, by the administration. This what happens in India. If anything happens, we even enter the house of any politicians or any people's place. But that was not happening in Israel. I thought that that is a restriction, but actually that was a culture over there. Actually, the media doesn't go to the hospitals. They don't show the dead bodies over there. I found it as if that they were not allowing me, but basically not allowing me, but not allowing the media. But actually that is the culture. Their media maybe not going over there basically. They only cover what they see. And in the local channels also, I did not show any such visuals of any disaster. So, I could claim as if like this, maybe the disaster seems to be not so big as compared to Iran, because Iran's disaster can be seen by all the medias.
Tells our audience whether the journalists allowed to film the damage, casualties, or the impact of a strike in Israel or not.
No. Today I am seeing that BBC, CNN, the journalists were there. But when I was there, the only international journalist, apart from the people who are the journalists who were there before also, because I was not able to walk everywhere in the Tel Aviv or the Jerusalem, the whole Israel, but the foreign journalists, we were there. We were basically, there was nobody who could tell us what is the destruction, and we only went to one or two places because the place where we were we were next to the American embassy. So from there, it was very difficult to know which part of the Israel or which part of the Tel Aviv the destruction has been done. One or two places we visited by asking people. Others we were not told, and even local people do not tell basically to us, because they were saying that we ourselves do not know where this place is, because over here we know where is this hospital, where is this Chandni Chowk where the blast takes place. Over there we do not know the places. We have to ask people, and the police, they don't talk to the people, no, the media. The administration was not there, only the local people. They said their words is how much right or wrong, that is questionable actually.
Have you seen or witnessed any casualties during your coverage of the topic?
When I went there, when I went to a place where I'm telling you where I saw basically a very big hole to that place. I was seeing the destructing things over there. Basically the building was being just like it was, all the walls were being broken and the things were being broken over there. But there was no body over there. Maybe because that took place in the night and we went in the morning at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Maybe at that time, the bodies maybe have taken to the hospital or the casualties. So the locals were telling that there were many people over here, but we can't say anything about the locals actually, because that was not an official statement.
Local said any number about the casualties or
They were saying that they were saying people were living over there. The people was used to stay over there. But how can you trust the locals over there? Still, I would say that if I have to speak anything, I have to have a proof. Basically, I will be questionable again next time. Actually,
Israel is known for its advanced defense and technological advancement. Is it working during the Iranian missile strikes?
From 28th afternoon till 3rd or 4th, the date I was there in Israel. Every half an hour, every 1 hour, we used to get a siren. Then the people used to just run in the bunkers or from the rooms actually. But there was one moment when at 5 o'clock in the morning, there was no alarm actually, which was there. Basically when we came out, there was some explosion. The voices were coming of the explosions, droom, droom like this. But that time, there was actually no alarm. So that was the fault of the technology, or there was some problem in my mobile. I could say something. I cannot say like this.
As a journalist, how difficult it was to verify the informations and the objective news reporting during these circumstances and conditions?
No, I would say the media is, allowed. But that is why the Indian media is still over there. They are allowed to go everywhere. But it is difficult to reach to the places where the explosions are being taken place. We can see in the sky the explosion have been taken, or we can see in the Facebook or the TV. I will not say that we were being restricted actually. This word, I will not use this word, because I was able to walk over everywhere. But I will say that there was no proper official statements that we were maybe the journalists now, because they had that now the international journalists are reaching over there. I am seeing that there is a jacket wearing press, a black helmet. At that moment, we were not given that even that jacket of the press and all. Maybe some things have happened from last 3 to 4 days that they have maybe given. But at that time, because that time the war had started only from 28th, the war started till 3rd and 4th. Maybe at this starting era, we were not being told. Maybe this time people have been updated about it, but we were not restricted. We could go to anywhere we wanted actually.
Sir, did you meet any family directly affected by the Iranian missile strikes in Israel?
No, that I can say we were not. I was not able to meet anybody, because I went to the destruction place, but there was nobody over there. Only the locals who were neighbors actually, and the people who just see the destructive place who were standing there. They gave us the information that no, there were people, but we don't know how many people are there. They were just saying like this actually. There should be no war. Any lives which goes, whether it is an Iranian body or it is an Israeli body, we should not go for any war. In our Hindu religion, we say, after thousands of birth, we get the birth of a human being. Nobody should take it. Neither Iranians, the soldiers, nor the Israeli soldiers. I request Mr. President, Mr. Trump, that please, just get off from all these things. Please, just let the two countries decide what to say, what to do, what not to do. You don't be basically a policeman or a judge basically to decide which country is correct and which country is wrong. There should be no deaths, because whenever I used to see those planes and drones, whenever I used to see the visuals of Iran, both of these destructions, I felt very bad. I don't want to see, because what happened before also in Israel, I came to know that there were pregnant ladies where they took out the child which was inside the lady's stomach. And when I also heard that there were bombs in the pager, basically that exploded to many people in other country also. Both the things should never happen. There should be no war, because even the Israelis, they are so good people. I have never been to Iran, but the Iranian people who come over here basically, because the Shias in India, they are very nice and they are very pro-Hindu, the Shias, I would like to tell you. And those Shias are basically, they are always, they are not so, I would say, there's that Muslim community, they are very much towards their religion. But Shias are not very much, too much of religious. They are little, I would say they are very pro towards Hindus. I'm not saying that the Muslim community is not against the Hindus, but I would say that they are, I think, because I'm from Lucknow, in Lucknow there are many Shias, And then from their mouth, I only used to hear that Iran is a country, Iran is a very beautiful country. But by this statement, by this situation, I am not aware how is Iran is about this, which is fighting. They were having nuclear weapons. Or Israel, which is such a great country. I went over there to Israel and I was seeing so beautiful people, so good people. And I'm seeing, they were so good towards India. They are very pro to India. And I think if Iran and Israel people, if they meet in some other country, they would be also talking very happily. This war should finish up and life should be gone, because lives are very important. You get after thousands of births, according to my Hindu mythology. So this war should stop as soon as possible. Let's not discuss about the casualties which happened in Israel or Iran. If 10 died, that is also harm to us, to our humanity. 1 died, that is also harm to us.
Sir, can you tell us your experience when you were struck in the airport, and what did you notice over there? What was the situation when Iranian missile attack or taking place?
Airport, when this happened, I was when I was standing at the airport and was at the ticket counter, I was talking to my mother. We have a most important festival, Holi, which was on 3rd and 4th, 2nd and 4th actually. And 28th I was standing on. So we were just discussing, what will you bring, what will you make this time? I was said, my mother is a 78 years old lady and I don't have a father. I lost my father in Corona. So I was just talking to my mother and I was thinking that she said, you will come to, because a mother likes his son to come in the festival. This is Indian culture. You may be not in, in any days, but when it is a festival day, the old people, they want their children to be with them. When I was, this happens, I just told my mother that maybe this is my last video and I maybe not, because the war has, because at that moment I was not aware that the war may take to what place. I was thinking, because they said there were some explosions in the sky. So I never knew, because I am a God-fearer man. So I thought maybe some explosion will be there on the airport, because I have made the news, I have telecasted the news that in explosion, this building has been disposed, and this has been disastrous thing has been happened. So that is why I said to my mother, mummy, that this may be my last video, but pray to God. Then she got, what happened, what am I said? Then I had to cut my phone, because people were saying me to evacuate and move from here to the bunkers. So that moment I want that this should never, because what I felt, I think everybody, if this situation would be happening in the world, they should be also following those things. Everybody has a mother, wife, children. So, this was my first moment, because after that we were a little stronger. But this moment was little, because that moment I was weak. I think this moment should never come to anybody's life, I would say.
Would you like to give us suggestions to the head of the state who wants war?
There's only Mr. Trump who is basically more interested. Sometimes he picks the Venezuela president. Sometimes he says, this is wrong. Day for yesterday, he says, you can buy petrol for 1 month. Please don't like we have Bua in our family. The Bua who always interferes in everybody's matter. Don't be like Bua and Pupa. Please, America is a great country. Make America great, but not making other countries, in a loss. India is a country, please learn from India. Our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi. Mr. Modi, we had a war with Pakistan. Most of the country people were not aware, and there were even the news that there was no war. This is the strategy about my Prime Minister, Mr. Modi. This is his policies, that he knows war always will take my country 20 years back. So I would only suggest, please look after the great America. The Iran would look after its own. Israel will look after its own. The people of Israel are very good. Is in Iran also, the people, every citizen is so good. I will not say anything about the leaders over there. I would not say anything about any people but I will say, let every country should decide its own policies. Let's not involve other countries in them to decide, because if they come to you, they will be like Buaji, will be doing what will be favoring to Buaji. The Buaji will take the decision in that way, and she will, if she likes somebody, she will say you are good, and if she doesn't like it, then she will tell the world that he's good, not good, he's a bad man. So my respected Trump ji, please don't try to be Buaji. Let the countries be in a peace, and please don't even say anything to my country also. I will only take instructions from my Prime Minister, Mr. Modi. I have voted my Prime Minister, and I want my Prime Minister, if he should say anything to my country, you are no one to say anything that 30 days you will not take the oil from this, or 30 days you will take the oil from Russia. This is what I would like to say.